Just came to me that Maya probably shouldn't be using her special powers this game, says Serp. Is that so? Is it? He still has the baker apron on. Again, I was about to recap, but we don't have to. Well, so much for a fun evening at home. The knights came and crashed our party. They were shouting all about a witch and a witch trial. Talk about coming out of left field. Womp womp. They arrested Espella and dragged her to the courthouse under suspicion of being one of those witches they mentioned. And if she's found guilty, oh, you know, they'll only throw her into a pit of fire. They're joking, right? Just like they were joking with the first girl that we saw who burned to death as soon as we walked into the room. It was pretty awful. Yes. So more specifically where we were is that a fifth witness had suddenly appeared and said, Let me huddle with the other witnesses, and we'll make up a consistent story. This trial is still far from over. Oh. Alright, so apparently I saved it on the very last line before the to be continued. And does that mean it switches back over to Professor Layton? No. Come on, microphone. Alright. Well then, we will now continue in the trial of Espella Cantabella. Oh boy. A group of witnesses huddling up before a joint testimony in a witch trial. You can't make this stuff up. Inquisitor Barnum, if I may ask you a question. Yes, my lord. We now have 5 witnesses on the stand, so I must ask, why was this obnoxious-looking man left out of your initial group of witnesses? Boldy's right, Barnum. That's just cold-blooded. I can't remember. We heard him speak, and I forget exactly what he sounded like. There's but one reason, my lord. I did not know this witness even existed. Eh? You, sir, failed to come forward. When we were asking for witnesses for this very trial, you were nowhere to be seen. Whoa. That's 'cause I didn't hear a peep about it. I ain't usually around at night except for maybe at Rogue's Tavern. Wait, Rouge? Rouge's Tavern? So, you're basically telling us that you were up all night drinking. Anyway, it's all water under the bridge now as far as I'm concerned. Just leave the rest to yours truly. Ha 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 ha! The rare instance where it's actually supposed to be Rouge, not Rogue. Yeah, I read Rogue's Tavern and then I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. During the last interrogation, the defender brought forth some surprising proof. Namely, that there was little possibility that the accused could have used magic. I have never heard such a claim. It must be the doing of this Lodge-ick. What rubbish. Lodge-ick, you say? I ain't got a clue what that is. But I do know that this bread bacon baker ought to head back to the bakery. eloquently said. Oi, Gramps! Give me and my partners over here a chance to speak. You wanna know how this witch... Yeah, that wasn't his accent exactly. I'm getting it wrong. Oh well. You wanna know how this witch managed to be holding that scepter, don't ya? Oh, when you said Gramps, you wouldn't mean me, would you? I fail to see anyone else meeting such a description. We'll show you she's a witch. I'll bet Snowy's beautiful white coat on it. On guard! Alright, team. Let's do this. Witnesses, assemble! Yes, well, let us proceed with the testimonies. Why do I feel like I've totally lost control of this situation? It's clear as day. Espella is a witch. We are not backing down on this. When she dropped the lantern, the scepter was not yet in her hands. The scepter must have been hidden by magic and carried on her back. The rogues grabbed her by the hand. Grabbed her by the hand that held the lantern, so she must have had another way of holding that scepter. That's easy. The girl just put the bucket down on the ground and pick up the witch's magic stick. So, she had the witch's scepter behind her back. Then she dropped the lantern and reached for the scepter after it fell. If that is the case, then it must have been possible for the accused to have used magic. The old I've just remembered. This is bad. Thanks to this guy, now all the witnesses seem extra determined to pin this thing on Espella. So is that supposed to be alcohol, or is he drinking frothing mugs of water? A la TV tropes. They each harbor a shared anger toward witches and magic. Such is the cause of their strong desire to see a guilty verdict passed as quickly as possible. However, such confidence is undoubtedly bound to cloud their better judgment and thinking. Yeah, I think you're right. I don't think these guys mean any real harm, but they're all riled up. They don't even realize how distorted their idea of what happened tonight has become. At least that's how it seems. This isn't good, Professor. The witnesses aren't thinking straight. They're completely blind to the truth. Well, we know that two of them are actually blind, not just to the truth, but to everything, on account of being blind, which means unable to see. Sir Baker? Rather, Sir Wright. Yes. You do not appear to be he said mere and simple? You do not appear to be a mere simple baker. That much is clear. On the other hand, you are no ordinary defender either. Never before has a defender managed to clash and do battle with me here on this battlefield as an equal. Sir Blue Knight, this trial has not yet been decided. If there is any doubt in your interrogation, I will not hesitate to strike your case down where it stands. I understand. Defender, please begin your interrogation. Hold it. Did you just eat a flower? Not backing down, you say? Uh-huh, that's right. Espella is a witch. That's our story, and we're sticking to it. This is a courtroom, Miss Kira. We're not interested in your story. We're interested in the truth. The red truth. You know what I think? I think stories have the power to touch our lives in really meaningful ways. What do you mean? Last year I read a book about a flower girl who brought peace to the world with all the pretty flowers she sold. Because of that story, now I tell myself, Kira, one day you'll fill the world with beautiful flowers of your own. That story inspires me to sell more flowers. It's pretty much the same as this trial. What a very touching story. Indeed, I have heard nary a truer tale. Wouldn't you agree, Sir Blue Knight? Maybe it's just me, but I'd have preferred something a little more relevant. I'm afraid our logic may do us no good here. Let's move on to the next witness, shall we? Oh, I no longer have the move back and forth meter. I guess that's just for some questions. No matter how many times we ask, you still say you didn't see the scepter, huh, Gramps? I ask you, youngling, were you paying attention to this trial? Yes? Well then, magic made the scepter invisible, did it not? Thus my old age clouding up my vision has nothing to do with anything. The scepter actually vanished. No, what I'm saying is, if it really was invisible, you wouldn't be able to actually prove it. Not so, young one. We can prove it. The girl is a witch. There is your proof. So my old age clouding up my memories has nothing to do with anything. The scepter magically vanished, you see. Okay, we get it. When the lantern fell, you claimed the scepter was not in her hand yet, so that means the scepter must have been hidden by magic. Whoops.
Hold it.
The witch's scepter was behind her back. Well, it's like my little snowflake here. Whenever my darling gets too heavy, I hoist him up and carry him on my back. You mean your baby goat, right? Yes. There isn't a cuter little goat in this entire courtroom, right, precious? Bah. I know it's been asked already, but you didn't see the witch's scepter, did you? Well, no, but it must have been made invisible by magic and then put on a bed. It's the same thing. Snowy is such a tiny little thing. If I put him on my back, you can hardly see him. I hardly see the point of that comment.
Hold it.
Are you alright? Are you okay? What? Why? Why? Well, for one thing, you're hiding behind what I assume is a shield. Well played, Blue Knight. You managed to see through my steel guard technique. Steel guard? Your steel what technique? You tried to penetrate the depths of my mind and deceive me once with your witchcraft of words, but you will find your words are futile against the strength of my shield, crafted from wood harder than steel. Now then, have at you. Attack me if you dare. No. Just listen a second. Looking at this sketch, it's quite clear the accused could not have held the scepter in the same hand carrying the lantern. Witness, explain to the court just how the accused held the scepter.
Hold it.
Put the milk bucket down? That's alright. Reckon if she did that, she'd have no problem holding that thing. This whole stream is a witchcraft of words. It is. Especially the part where there's witches. And crafts. But none of the other witnesses have said anything about seeing her put the bucket on the ground. But no one said a thing about not seeing her put the bucket down. Oh. All of them have it. Alright. Oh wait, is there anyone suspicious? Oh wait. Only one person? Alright, well, she looks suspicious. He doesn't. She's just destroying flowers as is her wont. And he looks fine.
Hang on!
Excuse me, Ms. Mary. Huh? You mean Snowy and me? Tell me, what do you think of the witness's testimony just now? The accused placed the bucket on the ground. No one has said anything about this until now. That must be how it happened. The girl probably placed the milk bucket on the ground, yes. Oh! A witch did make it invisible. There. I just denied the existence of witches. You can now chat.
Objection!
Ms. Mary, you did not mention anything to that effect in your previous testimony. And yet you clearly stated that the one thing you were specifically focused on more than anything else was the milk bucket. Irk! Ergo, you should be able to confirm to the court whether or not the bucket really was placed on the ground.
Objection!
One's memory is not flawless, Sir Blue Knight. Objection, we are in a Phoenix Wright game. No one ever remembers anything incorrectly. Pay attention to what the witness was saying. The accused probably placed the milk bucket on the ground. There is the possibility such was the case. Haha, two overlapping truths. Yes, that's right, isn't it, my little cuddle pumpkin? There's something fishy about her testimony, but indeed, it would seem we require a decisive piece of evidence if we are to expose the contradictions in these witnesses' testimonies. Yeah, I just have to think of what that could be. Should be the bucket, right? There's no mud on it.
Objection!
Yeah. I'm afraid what really happened is not quite so simple. What? What you talking about? It had only just stopped raining moments before the crime took place. As a result, the ground was very muddy. If Ms. Cantabella really placed this bucket on the ground like you claimed she did, then it should be caked with mud, just like the lantern was after it fell. Well, Doda, I'd say that clears up your muddy testimony, wouldn't you? Oh, well. Hey, Bonham. What? You just gonna sit there looking pretty? Come on, give me a hand here. Flattery will get you nowhere, witness. Other than perhaps to the dungeon. At any rate, there is but one question we ought to ask. Why is there no mud on that bucket? To the witness with the goat, may I ask you a question? Are you talking to us? Indeed. You admitted to the court that you returned home with the milk bucket. Illegally, I must add. My, oh my, such harsh words, Inquisitor. When you took the bucket home, you must have simply wiped the mud from the bucket, is that correct? That's a plenty. That's au gratin. You know, now that you mention it. No way. Don't tell me. That milk bucket. Ah, that's right. I remember now. I don't know if what was on the bucket was mud exactly, but it certainly was dirty. Before taking it inside with me, I remember wiping it clean with an old rag. Are you kidding me? Exceptional work, Inquisitor Barnum. Right, right. It all makes perfect sense. See, we were right all along, weren't we, Inquisitor Barnum?
And that sword weren't just for show, Barnum. You sliced his argument in two.
Objection!
Witness, Ms. Mary. What is it? You're absolutely sure there was mud stuck to this milk bucket? Oh my, well, truth be told, I don't remember whether it was mud exactly. But I do remember cleaning the bucket off when I got home. Urk! There's the gavel. It would seem the defense has failed to disprove the witness's claims. Of that we can be quite certain. Everyone has voted for Hajime.
Haha, that'll teach you, boy. You got that right. Do me a favor, will ya, Gramps? I want to change my testimony just a tiny bit.
I will allow it, only if the witness refrains from name-calling in the future.
You got it, my lord. Oh, this court mumbo-jumbo has left me thirstier than a dog in the desert.
Take it easy, it's not coffee. So is that... Okay, same everything, but he's, at the end, his testimony is the witch there was holding the stick. I even heard her say the incantation thingy.
Hold it!
But no one knows for sure if Ms. Cantabella dropped that milk bucket on the ground. Because there's no mud on it. Is that what you're saying?
Hey, we went over this already. We know the goat lady wiped off all the mud.
Objection!
However, Ms. Mary doesn't clearly remember whether or not it was mud that was stuck on the bucket. We really don't remember. But maybe? I guess maybe there was mud on it. I mean, she couldn't hold the scepter without putting the bucket on the ground. Ms. Mary, please give a definitive answer.
You all done, Bluey? Talk all you want, 'cause that ain't gonna help, you see?
The five of us. We saw what the witch went and did. We saw it clear as day. Phew. Well, if you don't mind, sir. Why are you rotating? Earth to Gramps. Defender, when you say Gramps, might you by any chance be referring to me? No, no, of course not, Your Honor. Mr. Wordsmith, are you listening? I heard you quite clearly the first time, young man. These ears hear all, the crackling of the fire, the whispering of the crowd, and now your voice. If that's the case, then allow me to ask you a question. By the way, Odd Garrett, leading questions are fine on cross-examination. You only can't do, you cannot ask a leading question of your own witness. Or wait, maybe... I wasn't paying much attention. He may have been asking that of, you may be saying that about Barnum. I need to figure out a way... Should I have my chat over here so I don't miss it? Oh well. You were deep in thought just now. Do you have something to say about this man's testimony? Indeed so. I felt something was amiss. However, what that means I cannot say. Amiss? Witness, could you tell us what precisely was amiss with this third rate? Oh my god! Now we're calling people third rate. We're calling people third rate. It really is Umineko. This third rate testimony from this third rate witness. What a burn, Barnum. 5 heads are better than 1. 10 eyeballs are better than 2. As I listened to this man's testimony, I could not help but become aware of something most odd. Tonight, when the crime occurred, we all made haste to that terrible scene. The delicious scent of mid-evening dinner permeated through the air, the shadows of those present cast through the dim light. And yet there were but 4 figures standing in that vicinity, myself included. 4? When did you learn how to count? Hold on 1 second. You're saying that there were only 4 witnesses at the crime scene tonight? These eyes may be old, but they know what they saw. Maybe you wiped the mud off the bucket? Yeah. Is something the matter, Miss Mary? No, it's just that Snowy and I are trying to remember what happened at the time. I remember the flames erupting into the air. That's when Snowy and I made our mad dash to save the precious milk. And when those 2 ruffians were set ablaze, the flame filled the area with light. In that sudden flash of light, we could see that there were other people around besides ourselves. And that's when I saw them, the other people that scrambled to the scene along with us. I'm quite sure of it. There were only 4 of us there at the scene of the crime.
Objection!
Hold it, madam. What in Honoyos is going on? We have 5 witnesses on the stand, all claiming to have witnessed tonight's events firsthand. That means we have 1 witness too many.
Oi, you lot better stop speaking out of turn. All for one and one for all, remember? We promised to take this witch down together, didn't we?
It's not quite that simple. We saw what we saw. Well, I say it's all about the numbers, and I counted. I say. I'll have you know my counting is flawless. On nights when sleep eludes me, I can count sheep from moonrise to sunrise. 4 witnesses, 5 witnesses, what difference does it make? Things all started getting muddled when you showed up.
What the? You saying it's my fault? I was there, you fool. Didn't I just finish saying that?
My testimony is strong as steel, even if it's not completely stainless. What a good analogy.
Order, order. I said order.
What?
What is going on here?
You claim the number of witnesses does not add up? I have never paid witness to such an outrageous conflict. There is but one answer to this puzzle, a single possibility. What do you mean? Without a doubt, magic must have been used at the scene of the crime. Furthermore, it would indeed appear that there were only 4 witnesses present at the scene. And yet, currently we are faced with 5 witnesses testifying to the court. That certainly is quite a fatal contradiction, with only one possible answer. Would you not agree, Mr. Wright? The answer? It can't be. Well, out with this supposed answer, Sir Blue Knight. One of the witnesses is the real culprit? While it might seem far-fetched, the reality is actually rather simple. The real witch, and the real murderer in this case, is actually one of these 5 witnesses. What? Dabbing strike. You're telling us that the witch is amongst this group of witnesses? What utter rubbish. There is no possible way that such a claim could be true.
That's right. You got a lot of nerve accusing one of us of being a witch.
We have told you nothing but the truth. Yet you still have the gall to bat around such an outrageous accusation. Behold as my trusty shield deflects your petty words like the petty words that they are. I'll make a manga if I have to. I'll panic talk action. I'll play DDR till you believe me. Inquisitor Barnum. Yes, my lord. I would like to see a sketch of the crime scene at the time of the incident. Do you have one in your possession? Yes. Certainly, my lord. I have one here. I requested it from the court illustrator, just in case. Very well. Witnesses! I would like each of you to mark your location at the time of the murder. Here on this crime scene sketch. Quickly, now! The number of witnesses doesn't add up. It looks like we're getting somewhere now, but we haven't even scratched the surface of this case yet. And it's all thanks to this top hat-wearing gentleman. Jeez. Oh, those are the dead guys. The court accepts this crime scene sketch into evidence. And if one of the witnesses is the witch... It doesn't necessarily tell me very much, other than the fact that she's behind him. So either he's lying or she, who knows. Oh, I can move this around. That could only mean one thing. Somebody here isn't telling the truth. That's illegal! That would be perjury. Do they have perjury in this world, or just magic? That would indeed appear to be the case, Mr. Wright. Listen well, Sir Blue Knight. The path you tread now is a dangerous one. Claiming that someone is a witch. How could someone ever make the claim that somebody is a witch? That's terrible. A serious accusation. Should it prove to be a false one... Tell me what happens if you accuse someone of a witch and it happens to be false? Could you please tell me? Go ahead. Do we drop you in the fire? You will find yourself at the other end of my sword. You're gonna find yourself at the other... Hold it by the tip. And put it in your own face. Huh. But that wasn't so much my suggestion. I mean... The gentleman here with the lovely top hat was the one who urged me to say it. Oh, it's like that, huh? It is the same thing, Sir Blue Knight. They have purges, not sure about perjury. And good evening, Ever X. Indeed, it is the same thing, Sir Baker. It is the same thing, Mr. Wright. Oh boy. Now, ready your sword. Your logic sword. Were you listening? You claim the witch is not the accused and that someone else at the crime scene was the true culprit. If what you say is true, then surely you can tell the court exactly where this person was at the time of the crime. Can you not? Come now, Sir Blue Knight. Only you can enlighten us as to who this real witch actually is. Sir Doughy Defender. Show us where the witch was at the exact moment the murder took place. Right now? Really right now? So... For no reason other than none, I kind of want to say that it's her. I don't have any reason for it. Ah. Damn it. The real witch was probably this person right here, I think. Probably this person, I think. Bah? You're so bad at this defender stuff, it makes me want to drink. If I may, Mr. Wright, remember that if one of these witnesses is indeed the witch, then there is a high possibility that particular witness is not telling the truth. Do bear that in mind. So the witch must be lying, huh? If that's the case, that must mean a certain person wasn't where they claim they were. That's when the witch must have cast Ignace, right? Take a look in the Grand Grimoire. We're bound to find something there. Really? Even if the witness is lying up a storm, whatever is inside this Grand Grimoire has to be the truth, right? They have to be one meter, whoever is the closest. Do not waste the court's time. Okay. Ooh, damn it. He turned into Maria. Ooh. Is it him because she heard it, the Ignace come from the darkness? Right? Didn't she say she looked he didn't hear the lantern break it. No. Huh. It might be because I've forgotten some of the other stuff that was in the, I don't think this drunk guy is a witch, is he? I really thought it was, Flower Edie over there. Is it him because he's close? There's no, like, this is 1 meter for scale. And it's somebody who's lying about where they were. How does this picture tell us anything? And why would they say look in the Grand Grimoire? Is it her because there's a fence? I mean, I get...
Got it.
Son of a... Oh, just their location? Oh. Okay. Okay, the location... Alright, that does make more sense. It does say it right there. The location of the witch during... So even if I thought it was, you know, her, for example, I shouldn't be clicking here, because this isn't where she was standing. She was over here, I guess, in these bushes.
Got it.
Wait, what? That's not where I clicked.
Objection.
What is the meaning of this? Unfortunately for you, that spot has absolutely nothing to do with any of these witnesses.
Objection.
Inquisitor Barnum, I suggest you try taking a look at this. The Grand Grimoire? According to this tome, Ignace summons a circle of flame within a 1 meter radius of the caster. In other words, the witch had to have been within 1 meter of the flame when casting the spell.
Objection.
Of course. You needn't say any more, Sir Blue Knight. First off, notice that there is no one else in that area other than the accused. It should also be quite obvious from the sketch that there is clearly nowhere for anyone to hide.
Objection.
true there aren't any hiding spots. However, there is one other possibility if a witch wanted to stay hidden from sight. Civilized culture using meters. This is the European version. I wonder if they did not use the word meter in the US version of the game. Most intriguing. Since you seem to love showing evidence, prove it! How was the witch able to hide in plain sight?
Take that!
This Telemagica contains 2 magic gems. Ignace and 1 other spell. That's right, the spell Dimir. Dimir. It can't be. That's right. There was most certainly a witch present at the crime scene, only they were completely invisible. All thanks to the magic spell Dimir. What foolishness is this? Order. Order in the court. Defender. What are you getting at? I thought the witch used Dimir to make the Talia Magica disappear. According to the Grand Grimoire, under the entry for Dimir, it causes anything the caster touches to vanish from sight. In other words, supposing the witch were holding the staff in one hand while touching part of their body with the other, and then they touched their clothes, they would be able to make themselves disappear. Are you implying that is the reason for the conflicting number of witnesses? Indeed it is, which means witnesses, someone amongst you, is not disclosing the entire truth, and that person is the witch we seek. I believe this is the most probable scenario. Oh yeah, well that's also standard Phoenix, right? For the judge to, oh, I'm amazed at this. Honorable witnesses, you will testify to the court one final time. Tell us exactly what you saw and what you did not see at the scene of the crime. How absurdly absurd. The purpose of this trial is to convict that girl of the crime, is it not? That's right, we are not witches, said the witch. Said the real witch. Witnesses, I ask that you listen. There is a witch mingling among you. That's right. I'm afraid you are all no longer brothers in arms. The true opponent here is within your own group. The real witch is one of these 5 witnesses, huh? If we burn them all, we're guaranteed to kill the witch. Fine by me. Time to put an end to this trial. We'll put each of them on a scale and see if they weigh the same as a duck. You wish to know where we were all standing tonight? It matters not. Would the flames not burn just the same? That flame, I never saw anything like it. It quite literally left me speechless. I couldn't even so much as scream. I heard the tiniest cry, and then when I turned around, the blighters were roasting, so I rushed right over. When you turned around, what? I heard the incantation, and then the flames suddenly erupted. I'm certain of it. I only saw 3 people there with us. As I said, there were only 3 others present, like that man there who was stumbling around like a newborn calf. Oh, maybe Layton is the real witch. I think somebody had let slip, and I mean, I don't care about this as a spoiler, but somebody had let slip that at some point they will wind up against each other. Briefly. Just in order to, you know, Batman versus Superman style, in order so that to justify naming the game this. A most heinous act indeed. No small wonder these witnesses are so confused. A witch amongst the witnesses? What an utterly baseless claim. I don't think so, Barnum. The only baseless claim in this case is of Espella being a witch. It's more than a little likely that one of these witnesses is the culprit. These testimonies are bound to tell me who the real witch is.